Alright, it's like, obvious assassinations, alright? Um, we all know Martin Luther King got smoked, and we know why. It's because he was in Memphis, Tennessee, where, that's, that's like towards the heart of the South right there. There's the heart of that die-hard subculture of the Southern Mafia. I was down south for a few years, so I mean, they're not bad people. They just, I think, there's a cultural uh, residual, kind of like with the Indians. The Indians are kind of still angry about the past offenses, getting our shit stolen and smallpoxed and rezzed and sent through a Jesuit school. These things are culturally, there's a little residual anger there, or the blacks and the slaves, but which was really fucking jive. But I mean, at the same time, America, with all of its evils, it's still got some good parts to it, and they got to be a part of that by a bad thing. Something good came out of it. Now these people got the potential to take the knowledge back, with them. If they ever return to Africa, though we're from here, but we came from somewhere else. We're not even sure ourselves. The Indians here from the Great Lakes, but it's pretty crazy. Uh, but yeah, that the South is kind of still angry about. They never really, in their minds, they never lost the war. They just kind of gracefully bowed out, and they'll just gonna recontinue later. All right, now back to assassinations. That whole guy that killed Lincoln. This guy was he was either he was like a Jesuit, KGC, Templar, Knights of Golden Circle type guy himself. Uh, you know what I'm saying? Even though they always portray Lincoln as this great guy, but I don't know. It seems he did have a dark side. I mean, I'm not. And he died from the 0-year curse, which is from 10 Bears, Tecumseh's brother. There you go. Here's more Indian stuff for you. After they assassinated Tecumseh, I mean, all the Indian leaders back in the day got assassinated, except for Geronimo almost. Most of them did. Even some of Geronimo's people got smoked, assassinated. I've read the accounts. I mean, it's not. The Indians were practiced with the art of assassination there, dude. They fucking always either had to escape a near assassination attempt where they'd say, hey, we want to make a treaty, come in this tent. And then you'd get in there and 10 guys would come running in. And it talked about this one guy whipping out his knife, cutting a hole in the tent, and then running away. I mean, and I've been through some real life situations like that where it felt like people were trying to set me up in a similar fashion. But anyway, yeah, I think I might have botched a few assassination attempts myself, dude. I don't enjoy it. I mean, it's nice on the other side of it, but it's not fun. uh, but assassinations, JFK. I mean, what it is, he was a Catholic, and he went against the Brotherhood. He went against the Malta and the Jesuits by going against the fucking big plan of New World Orderdom. He tried to resist it, it seemed. And, the whole. He had to go, man. Yeah, I mean, he knew about the whole hoaxing of the moon landing. I mean, I went to NASA, and they said, this is a recreation studio. But you look at it, and it's like, no, this is exactly what you used to film that shit. Back to assassinations. All right. Malcolm X, you know why they assassinated him, just because he was a political informed black dude, and they don't like that. During that era, they really did target minority groups. They targeted them hardcore. They still do. Hip Hop Police, COINTELPRO. I mean, these people are out here. I mean, I'm not sure if I've been targeted by these people or if it's just some cult. I'm not sure, or if they're one and the same. But assassinations. Yeah, I mean, for sure, they assassinated that Che Guevara dude that everyone kind of uses as the poster boy for revolution. That's Kennedy era thing there. You know what I'm saying? Fucking one leader gets smoked in one nation, and this leader dies. Maybe it was a ritual blood sacrifice as well. And we all know that Bush was the head of the CIA at the time, so he knew about it. You know, Oswald's a patsy. It's a big conspiracy, truly. I mean, I don't know all the details. I wasn't there. Uh, but that's basically my interpretation of that at the moment. Because look, when you get in to the Catholics, you're heavily close to the mafia already. Because all the mafia is Catholics. It's but they're under the Black Pope. You know what I'm saying? A lot. I haven't even known about this book for the past few years, and it's like not even a few years, a year. This guy Adam 1984 YouTube channel, he does great documentaries on Nazis, on Knights of Malta, on Hitler, on the Catholics, on topics more pertaining to historical things. Adam 1984 is really good. Uh, anyway, back to Assassinations. Uh, yeah, oh yeah, what's his name? Crazy Horse, he got assassinated. Uh, Not sure I know the details on that one. Something about his horse got spooked, so they smoked him. That's just like nowadays when a cop says, I saw him go for a gun, and he didn't have a gun. You know what I'm saying? They do it now. But here's a big one that people are not. A lot of people don't know this, but about Tupac and Biggie Smalls, that they were picked out and targeted. Tupac was the real target. Biggie just got caught up because they needed someone to go down to stage a race war, or not a race war, but an inter-race war, where it was kind of like how they loved what the Bloods and Crips was doing with their major murdering of each other. It was helping with depopulation, and it was helping with the King Alfred plan. It was helping with it was helping keep them on the radar to the point where it gave them justification to take all the measures against them. But anyway, it's like basically I heard the CIA taught the Ramparts vision of LA to do. They were the ones who actually taught the gang members how to do drive-bys. So there's some tidbits of information. But anyway, back to Pac. Pac got into all that shit. He was targeted because he was related to Black Panthers. So they targeted him whole his life. He was political. That's a political maneuver where they constantly pester you with bogus charges. And like they said, he was a rapist, but the charge ended up getting reduced to unlawfully touching a girl's butt. Which guy hasn't done that at least once, even if it was on accident or he had too much to drink or what, whatever. Uh, but he got smoked, and he also was a sacrifice for the Brotherhood. Like they call it. This is the straight up Baphomet. Like when you're in Hollywood or the music industry, at some point you got to be Baphomet, and Pac was in it. That's why he kept always did that West Side hand signal, because it's the Machiavellian. I don't know what it stands for, but the two twisted middle fingers mean something. Yeah, because I keep seeing this pose everywhere. But he got murked, and then they murked Biggie, and then they made it look like it was an East Coast West Coast thing. But really, the same people, the first two guys on the scene at Pac's death were on the scene at Big's death, and some guys that were there with Martin Luther King were there in the Tupac and Biggie investigation. So there's a link to a government assassination. In particular, the FBI. You know what I'm saying? COINTELPRO, the race unit, political race organization unit. But come to find out, after they smoked Biggie and Pac, the war didn't pop off like they thought it was going to. Instead, the Black Panthers of the East Coast and West Coast ended up making a treaty, and then they ended up killing them, I think. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's crazy out here, man, with the assassinations. Just like the Guy Fawkes mask, he tried to kill the guy that gave us our modern Bible, and he was the Jesuits. He was a Jesuit operative. You know what I'm saying? Just like the Illuminati guy was a ex-Jesuit. You know what I'm saying? It's you can trace all roads lead to Rome. Truly, when it comes to the Illuminati conspiracy, they really do at this point. At this point, at least in time. But anyway, yeah, assassinations.